Hi everyone, so I have my empties as of December 2015. So I'm just gonna, I don't have any of this sorted, so we'll just go with whatever is on top. So I have mentioned this before. This is the Dove Purely Pampering Nourishing Body Wash, and the scent I have is Pistachio Cream with Magnolia. I really enjoy this scent, and it's very moisturizing. As long as you get out as soon as you rinse it off, I feel like it does the work of a light moisturizer, so that during the summer, don't really need any lotion, and during the winter it kind of cuts down the amount I need to use as long as I get out quickly, which is my problem. I don't like to do that because I like the hot water and I can't convince myself to get out. It's a work in progress. I feel like the shower is kind of my time, and you know, you're all sore and achy from whatever reason. It's just a pleasant experience, whatever. Revlon Colorsilk, beautiful color it says, and this is in medium brown. This is what my hair color was, but now that it's faded and ground out a bunch, it's not really this color anymore. But I will be, hopefully maybe tomorrow, coloring my hair this color again. It's under $3 at Walmart. I like it. I like the price. It's a cooler brown, but I feel like my hair still fades pretty warm. Even at my roots that were never dyed red, it still feels like it fades warm. I finished, more or less finished, the sample of the Makeup Forever Mattifying Primer, their new one, and it's just too matte, too hard for me to work with. It was like I had to blend it so quickly, and if I didn't like really blend out the edges where it stopped, my foundation would get really cakey at those edges, and it was not good. I was trying to find something that's cheaper than the Hourglass Veil Primer that works in the same way for me, and while it worked pretty well, almost too well in some areas, it was just too hard to work with. It was too easy to mess up, and then I felt like I needed to redo my foundation, that whole face layer in the areas where it was really like blotchy and cakey looking, and I don't have the time for that. So I'm not gonna purchase that. I ended up buying the 2-ounce Veil Primer during the VIB sale. Secret Outlast Unscented. I never talk about my deodorant, but you know, people do in their empties, so I figured I'd just throw it out there for you. This is a gel type antiperspirant. It's unscented. It's not fragrance free, so it has masking fragrance. So it just kind of smells like alcohol, to be honest. And I'm a very sweaty, smelly lady, so I need something that works pretty well. I put this on at night after my shower, and then I don't put any on in the morning, and I'm good to go for the day. I think it says 48 hours. I don't get 48 hours out of it, but I also take a shower every night. So works really well for me. It does not leave white marks unless I'm wearing the same shirt over and over and over, like pajamas or something. I might see a little bit of a buildup of white, but for a shirt that I'm wearing once, no. So that is the primary reason why I switched to that gel form, and the realization that I don't really like the scent of a lot of antiperspirants, so why not just get the unscented, and then I don't have to worry about it. And I think I probably made this realization during my first trimester of the second pregnancy, where everything was making me queasy. I finished the Trader Joe's Nourish all-in-one facial cleanser. This I feel like is a decent cleanser. It does have, it's fragrance free, so it has, is it fragrance free? It's got a funky smell to it, let me tell you that. I don't enjoy the smell of this, and it's because it smells like whatever it's made out of, and it does leave my skin feeling tight and dry, which I would say 99% of every facial cleanser I've ever used does. It is moderately okay at removing eye makeup. I do remove my eye makeup, all of my makeup, in the shower when I wash my face at night, so I just use one cleanser to remove the makeup, wash my face, do everything, and then I'll go in with some cleanup afterwards, if necessary. I find that if I don't tight line or wear waterproof eyeliner, I can usually skip that step unless I have a mascara that like smears instead of removes cleanly. So if I was not wearing anything like that eyeliner situation, this would get all my eye makeup off fine in general. But most cleansers do. So, but that's also after a full day of wearing the makeup. I find that my makeup breaks down quite a bit throughout the day. It still looks fine, but when I go to remove it, it comes off pretty easily. As opposed to if you put it on a couple hours before, it's not going to come off nearly that easily. So one of the things I was using for the kind of cleanup after face wash was the Rimmel Just Let It Go Gentle Eye Makeup Remover. So this came in an Influenster box for free. They basically, if you use any sort of social media, you can sign up on their site, and they may pick you for a box of stuff, and then you have to fill out a survey after you've received it. And there's, you know, badges you can win, no, obtain, complete, whatever. I never do those because they all involve Facebook, and I don't have a Facebook account that's tied to my stuff here. So anyway, this came quite a while ago, and Angie from Vanity Rouge said that this was her favorite for using like a micellar water, and this is so like all over the face, I think. But now there are a lot of micellar waters out there. Oh, and this does say removes waterproof mascara. I have a highly dubious of that claim, because this does not remove waterproof eyeliner, which is a lot easier to remove than waterproof mascara. So maybe it does, but I doubt it. So this was really not good for that first removal of makeup, but it was fine at like the post-cleanse cleanup. So I would not purchase this, but I did use it and I was fine with using it and whatever. Up and Up, which is the Target brand Cotton Rounds Regular. I don't like these, but I have repurchased them. What I don't like about these is that the edges are really sharp, so if I am actually using them on my eyes, then it kind of hurts. I don't know how they make cotton rounds sharp on the edges, but they do. And so I use these for just kind of like if I have a lot of cleanup to do around my eyes and I feel like using a Q-tip would be, I'd have to use too many. I'll use something like the Micellar water or makeup remover around my eyes on a cotton round. I was also using these for applying toner, and also if I was using the Micellar water as my morning cleanser as opposed to washing my face in the sink. I'm not doing either of those now. Now with the toner, I just pour some into my hand and put it on my face because it uses less product, and I found that that works for me. And I am just washing my face in the sink again. Though after the baby is born, my guess is that I may go back to that Micellar water from Simple as my morning cleanse just to save some time. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend those, but they're cheap, so whatever. Studio 35 Beauty Premium Cotton Ovals. So that is these. I use these for removing my nail polish. I think these are the ones from Walgreens. I think the ones I got are I think these are the ones from Target, but as far as I can tell, they're the same. What I like is that they have this side that's not fuzzy. The other side is fuzzy, and the fuzz gets in your nail polish, and I hate that experience. But this non-fuzzy side is really nice for removing nail polish. So that's what I use those for. I like that format. If I could get ones that had both sides of that, I would. I'm not sure if these had both sides like that or not. I'll have to look at them next time I'm in Walgreens. Butter London Scrubbers 2-in-1 Prep and Remover Wipes. I got this as a sample in a kit I used, and I think I also had a Sephora sample, one of the free samples. So I got 2 of these. There's probably another one down in here somewhere. It's like a piece of felt almost with acetone on it. And it works well, but I found even with not super difficult nail polish setup to remove, like 2 coats of polish and a top coat, it would only get about 6 fingers. So not being able to do both hands with one quite expensive little wipe, that's kind of a non-starter. So I did enjoy using them, but it was kind of a bummer that it did not have enough oomph to get through all 10 nails. Oh, speaking of, the Simple Micellar Cleansing Water, I do have another one of these. So like I said, I used these in the morning instead of washing my face. That worked well for me. I've kind of been switching up my skincare routine, so I wanted to, that's definitely cleansing my face with a cleanser in the sink is always going to be a little bit more drying than something like this. So I was trying to add more hydration in some places and take it away from others. So I think that's ultimately why I went back to washing my face in the sink and took that out, because I was kind of fiddling with my SPF and whatnot. My skin seems to be changing. If you're interested, I'm going to do a quick update about the pregnancy at the end of this video, but I feel like the skin is changing. So this I actually finished a little while ago. MAC Fix Plus. I had put my Paula's Choice toner in here and then finished that. It's a nice spray bottle, but when it gets to the end, it really doesn't work well. So, and as far as Fix Plus goes, I don't have any plans to repurchase this. This is the only bottle of it that I've used. I did enjoy it, but I feel like it's not really worth the price. Like getting rid of powderiness on my face at the end of the routine. If I use this, it definitely affected the wear of my foundation. Things would break down faster. And also it didn't, more than 5 minutes did not really take away the powdery look. The areas that looked a little dry, once this dried, still looked a little dry. So didn't find it to be super useful. But it does smell nice and it feels nice. Paula's Choice Resist Ultralight Super Antioxidant Concentrate Serum. I think this is the second one of these that I have finished. This tube, using once a day, only lasts, I think, 2 months, 2 or 3 months for me. And that's just, it's too expensive. So I have purchased a drugstore serum that Paula's Choice rated highly from Olay. It's the Regenerist serum, the fragrance-free, and it's 1.7 ounces for around $20. This is 1 ounce for $28. So even when this is on sale, it's still quite a bit more expensive. And so far I am enjoying the Olay, so I don't really have any plans to go back to this one. It is nice, but hence buying it twice. But it's just expensive, and I feel like I just want to look for an option that lasts a little bit longer, that's less expensive. And another thing, the packaging, so it's a very runny product. Like, this seems like maybe there's stuff in here, but it just drips out, so there's nothing in here. And this tube, I don't recall it happening on the other one, but it got kind of gunky around the cap. So it's like when I screwed it tight, some would ooze out a little bit, and I don't like that. I don't know if that was just I got a bad one or what. The sample of the Benefit Air Patrol BB, what do they call it? BB Cream Eyelid Primer. So this has SPF 20 in it. It also has a tint, so you can see it's fairly yellow, but on the eyes, I'd say it's somewhat sheer, so you do get some color correction, but it's not something as opaque as like Soft Ochre from MAC, the paint pot, which is kind of a similar tone. I liked it. I have another sample of it. I'm looking forward to using it. as a primer, I feel like it worked well. And unless they change the packaging, I have no desire to purchase it. It sounds like a lot of people have issues with the packaging where it gets really kind of crusty at the top, so I don't like that. But otherwise it is nice. I definitely, if it comes out in some sort of different form factor, and I finish perhaps the Laura Mercier Eye Basics in Linen, maybe I would think about buying this. But this is, the nice thing about that Eye Basics in Linen is that it's a lighter color, so it works for like a brow bone highlight for me, as well as being a primer and covering the veins and a little bit of the freckles, toning down the freckles and whatnot. But overall, I did enjoy it. Some mascara deluxe samples. Tarte Lights Camera Flashes. These are all from the Sephora Lash Stash set. So this I purchased sometime earlier in the year, maybe during the spring sale, and I didn't really like anything that came in that kit except for the Lancome Hypnos Drama, even though I hate the smell of it. So Lights Camera Flashes, I know I like Lights Camera Lashes better than Flashes, because this one has the kind of rubbery wand. I tended to poke my waterline with it. It was a little painful to use. I didn't really like it. Josie Maran Argan Black Oil Mascara. This one was okay. I liked it better than the Tarte just because I wasn't like constantly assaulting myself with it. It's the traditional brush style. As I recall, it was a little bit smeary to remove, so I don't like that. Blinc Mascara Amplified. This is their tubing. I think maybe all of Blinc's mascaras are tubing mascaras. But this is like the real deal tubing mascara, where it really comes off in chunks. And even washing my face in the shower with very warm water and soap, I felt it took a while before they actually released, and I just really didn't like the sensation of rubbing those chunky tubes around on my face while I tried to get all of the mascara off. So really didn't enjoy the removal process. The wand, it's just, the bristle thing is huge. I find something that big is kind of tricky to work with. So I didn't really love those. Certainly would not buy them. My Hourglass Veil Primer. This was the travel size, which is 1/3 of an ounce, I believe. I will link below my video about my long-lasting foundation routine. This is a key component of it, so I could wear foundation for 12 to 14 hours and it still looks fresh. Kind of amazing. So I did, as I mentioned, I bought the 2 ounces. The 2 ounce, you actually get a price break. This is the same cost as the 1 ounce bottle per ounce. So if you're interested in this, I would definitely recommend trying the smaller size first, because if you get the 1 ounce, it's not like you're getting a better deal, and it's $50. So I like it a lot. One thing I don't like though is that it tends to separate, and there's no real way to get it back together. In the pump style, it like clings to the sides. The thicker component, which is the part that really does the oil control, and I presume also has the SPF in it. So when I got down towards the end, it was just like all the thick stuff that was like on the sides, and it doesn't work quite as well with all the thick stuff. And if you use the pump, all you're getting is the kind of watery stuff, which really doesn't work at all for me. It really needs to be the combination, so that's kind of irritating. So that's why I was additionally interested in the 2 ounce, because it's in a squeeze tube like this. So far I find that it still has separation issues, but now separation anxiety. But I can shake it and I feel like I can squish it around and maybe reincorporate it a little better. Here's that other packet of the Butter London nail scrubbers. And then I had a little 4-pack, like holiday-ish kind of set. I don't know where. I think I bought this also during that Chic Week, so I'm gonna put them all back. They all have the same problem. They all did this. They started like separating in a really weird way. And I'm not super excited about using them when they have all kind of separated in that manner. And I didn't really love the formula to begin with. It's kind of a bummer, but so I'm just tossing them because it feels like something's not quite right with the product. It seems like they went bad. Whatever. I'm getting rid of them. Didn't like how they worked. I felt like they didn't stain. They didn't last. They left my cheeks kind of sticky, and they like are separating within the tube. So whatever. Last thing is a fragrance sample. I'm trying to really give more love to my fragrance sample stash because I have a lot. And it's kind of fun to have all sorts of different options available. So this is the Nest fragrance, and it's Midnight Fleur. I think I mentioned this in a favorites, perhaps? Possibly. So it kind of reminds me of the smell of Michael's when you walk into the store, which is kind of funny. Why I want to smell like that, I'm not sure. But I did enjoy it, and I liked how it lingered in my hair especially, and I don't think I would purchase this, but I would definitely grab a sample if I had the chance to again. So I happily used that sample. So I think that's everything. Let me know if you have any questions about the products I used, or if I didn't answer something, if I didn't talk about something, whatever. I'm a little bit brain dead at the moment. Oh, I did mention that I was going to give a little pregnancy update. So my due date is tomorrow. I had my 39-week appointment on Thursday, and basically nothing seems to be really happening at the moment, but you know, things can change quickly, so who knows. And my first was 7 days late, 7 days exactly. And I don't know that there's any sort of like correlation if you have if you had one that was late, if the second's going to be late too. But so far, nothing seems to really be happening. I'm having the same amount of kind of random Braxton Hicks type contractions here and there, but not a lot. Every once in a while I'll have a sort of painful contraction, but that's about it. With my first Colin, I was in labor for 39 hours. Basically, I started having contractions around 8 or 9 in the evening, and all that night I couldn't sleep because every like 5 to 7 minutes I was getting woken up with a contraction. After I had contractions every 5 minutes pretty consistently around, I don't know, 4 or 5 in the morning, I called my doctor's office and they said, well, it sounds like they're maybe not like at peak intensity. Let's see if you can wait it out a little bit longer at home. And if you feel like you can't handle it anymore, then give us a call and head to the hospital. So that was kind of like, but whatever. They were painful, for sure. Definitely painful. But they did taper off a little bit. And then they got to the point where I could sleep. So I slept a couple hours, like took a nap sometime during the day, like mid-morning nap. The contractions came back. They started to get more painful, for sure, that next day. But they were further apart, so 7 to 10 minutes or so apart throughout that day into the evening. They were sticking at 7 minutes apart. They never got back to that 5 minutes apart. But it was so painful, I couldn't take it anymore. So around 2 in the morning, I think the next night, I called the doctor's office. I was like, I can't take it anymore. And she's like, well, it sounds like you're ready to come in. I was like, yes, I am. So we drove to the hospital then, and when they checked us in, I was only like 3 centimeters dilated, but since I was a week late, they decided to go ahead and admit me. Thank you. Can you imagine after all that, like 2 nights of no sleep, getting sent home? And, sorry, you have to wait a little longer. I might have lost it. So they checked us in, and then, but it turns out I was having contractions more frequently than I realized. It was like, there was actually contractions happening that I wasn't feeling, which is weird. So got that. Okay, whew, still got time. Got checked in, got an epidural, because that was my plan. What a relief that was after, you know, being in labor for so long. I think we got checked in around 3. The epidural takes, you know, it takes time to get everybody arranged and checked in and settled into the room and all that. And then the doctor came in. Things weren't really going anywhere. She broke my water. And she's like, well, you know, if this doesn't get things happening, we're going to need to move to Pitocin to help move things along. Well, the nurse was like, I think you'll be fine. I think you're gonna start progressing. Well, after my water broke, I dilated fully, like really fast. So once that happened, things started actually moving quickly. And then I was ready to push at some point. I don't remember when. But he was born at 11 something, and I only pushed for half an hour. So that whole process of getting checked in and the epidural and the water breaking and all that, that took a long time. It was just a long time just hanging out in the hospital, though it didn't really seem like a long time just because the previous like 30 hours had definitely felt like a really long time. So anyway, he actually was born quickly once I got to that point of being ready to push. So when I was at the doctor's, I think the week before last, she said that she hadn't seen anybody have a second baby that took more than 39 hours of labor. So I should at least be confident that it won't be longer than Colin. Typically the second one goes faster. And but it's like, well, even if it's half the time, it's still a pretty long labor. So fingers crossed. I would prefer something within the like less than 24-hour range, but still not something so fast that we feel like, panic, just because we have a toddler to deal with, and we would like to have somebody come over and stay with him so that we can go to the hospital and not have to bring him with us and then like have my husband come home and all that. So we'll see what happens, but and when it happens, who knows. I'm kind of expecting that it's going to be a little bit late, but you never know. So anyway, that's my update. I'm uncomfortable, really uncomfortable. I'm pretty over it, but the new baby's room isn't 100% ready, so we still have some things we can be doing. So taking advantage of the fact that we have some time, whatever. So anyway, that's my update. If you have any questions, let me know below. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you soon.